Gusto, okay lang may time din. Sige, ganyan. Anong topic?
Yung topic na yung 7 minutes yung topic.
Okay, English na lahat ha. Total, dapat na kayo natutunan ng English. Okay, ang tagal na walang EndtimEnglish. Okay, start.
Sige,
Tagalog na lang. Gusto mo Tagalog?
Galing na lang.
Tagalog na lang para hindi ko gawin yung English kasi may Tagalog.
Bibigyan pa namin yung
Ano?
ako, Brother Francis, merong gusto sa akin.
What is your question, brother?
My question is my question. Yeah, ano, Brother Francis, ganito. Gusto ko saan tumayo sa akin. Kaso, pero ikaw ang gusto ko makikita nito. Ang Genesis kasi may sinabi sa kapitulo 15, talata 18. Tulad to the Ezekiel, chapter 48, chapter 47. Buksan natin yung Genesis chapter 15. Ito ay may kinalaman doon sa kalalagayan sa pangako ng Diyos kay Abraham doon sa lupain na ibinigay ng Diyos sa kanya at sa kanyang mga lahi ang kanyang lahi ng Israel. Ngayon, sabihin nyo kung saan doon nila makakamta nito. May nabasa ako, Brother Francis, na tungkol sa tinatawag na Royal Grant. Royal Grant. Ito ay location ng Promised Land. Kung sa map yan.
Ganay.
Bakit?
Map sa Israel. All Israel map. Pwede mo pa nito kapag
Okay. So, sasabay-sabay yung may tanong para makakisabay yung mga sagot. Yung Royal Grant, wala tayong mababasag parang wala tayong mababasag word na Royal Grant, ano? Pero yan ay salitang pangako ng Diyos kay mga Abraham doon sa kanyang pakikipag-covenant. So, basahin natin yung Genesis 15. Ito ang sabi, verse 18. Okay. Ito ang sabi ni Moses.
And in the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, unto the seed have I given this land. So, si Abraham yung kausap ng Diyos dyan, sa pamamagitan ni Moses, sinabi niya, sa iyong lahi o sa iyong binhi, according to thy seed, have I given this land. Ibibigay ng Diyos yung pangakong lupain na yon. Sa tinatanong ko niya, Royal Grant, Francis, ito yung makakamta nila sa Promised Land, di ba? Ito yung sukat ng lupain nila. At ito ang pinanggit ni Ezekiel. Okay, ito, tinan niyo sabi, itutuloy ko para ubusin ko. Unto thy seed have I given this land from the river, from the river of Egypt, yun yung kanyang scope, ano? Hangganan, mula sa ilog ng Egypt, and unto the great river of Euphrates. So, paganon yan. So, Euphrates, paganon, di ba? Parang silid. Ngayon, i-connect natin sa Ezekiel, chapter 48. Binigay ang mga descriptive details, Brother Francis, about his land. Tayo sa 12 tribes, no? Yung 12 tribes, yan yung seed. Yan yung seed. Okay. Ang sabi rito, ito. Now, these are the names of the tribes, so yun yung 12 tribes. From the north end and to the coast of the way of Hethlon, as one going to Hamat. Yung Hamat sa taas eh. Sa baba yung ano. Ngayon, sabi, as one going to Hamat, Hazarenan, the border of Damascus. Ang Damascus, Baghdad, yan. taas yan, tama. Malapit sa Hamat. Hamat. And northward to the coast of Hamat. For these are his sides and east and west, and a portion of Dan. Verse 2, and the border of Dan from the east side and to the west side is a portion of Acher. So binabanggit na yan hanggang the end of the verse. Sa mga ibang binibigay ko yung sukat, yung descriptive detail, Brother Francis, kung gaano kalayo, kung gaano kalapad, gaano ka ang nasusukupan ng bawat isa. So sa Royal Grant na pinagano ko, Brother Francis, yan ba yung lugar na yan, Brother Francis? Royal Grant is the exact location of the Garden of Eden.
Almost yes.
Marami kasi explanation kung saan.
But listen closely. The garden is, imagine halfway. It's half big. If you imagine this coastline, this boundary, it's very big. So Egypt is on the south. Do you have the map? Now get the map of Egypt and Middle East. So Egypt is in the south. Israel is by the side of the Sea of the Mediterranean. Then Damascus, Syria is up here.
Sobrang lawak.
Okay, look at that. Would you draw such a detail? I hope you can find a more detailed make it more detailed. Look for other maps. So imagine, I'll use this trick. Imagine the description in what was read in Ezekiel. Egypt down here, going to the north, Ammon and north Damascus, Syria. And there is to the river Euphrates. Imagine how big that is. And Arafat, when he was showing a coin, I read this in the Bible, Israel writing. A coin depicting that big area. He said, the Israelites intend to invade all these countries. intend to take over all of that. So, they're here to invade us. They're here as occupiers. That's the reason of the battle right now in Gaza. They have depicted the Israelites as conquerors, as invaders. And its prophecy, it really looks that way. It really looks that way. Now, the question is it in this church age? Or will that take place in the millennium? Straight to the point, it's in the millennium, starting in Ezekiel 47, the rivers running for to the rest of Arabia, the dry Middle Eastern, look at this. This is a dry place. And Abraham walked the north way going to Israel. From Babylon, he walked the path of the river, the water. So that he could have in his travels a watering ground, a watering hole. Imagine how big this is. What did you type for your grant? What is the search? This is very big, oh? This is the exact description of what was said there. Maybe Hamak is somewhere there outside. But the issue is this. This is the map of Arafat. You can search it in the internet. The map that Arafat has been showing to the media, that Israel intend to invade all of that because they're depicting that in their coin. And the propaganda, the Israel TV will say that no, that's not, he just misrepresented us. But if you're going to talk about the promise to Abraham, yes. Now your question was that the Garden of Eden? My answer is halfway. Not that big, but not that small. When you say small, it's a Garden of Gethsemane. That's small. So remember, if you can look it up, what I shared about eastward in Eden. Have you recorded that already? Not yet. Eastward in Eden?
Meron na.
You recorded that? I hope you can transcribe that. And partly restore the new books to transcribe. Let me review what we shared about eastward in Eden. And God planted a garden eastward in Eden. In the book of Leviticus, did he specify that? No. Now, after Adam was cast out, what gate?
Eastern Gate.
Eastern gate. And he placed at the east gate angels, his flaming swords which turned every way. So Adam was cast from the eastern gate. Then Cain, when he slew Abel, he escaped what direction? Northward, southward, westward, eastward. You have to take note of that in the Bible. There are certain things in the Bible you have to just notice. Now, I'm just repeating this is within an older message. So, that goes to the direction of Iraq. Israel to Iraq. That's eastward. Now, let's talk about the size of Eden. The size of Eden does not extend up to Iraq. But it is not as small as Gethsemane, where the greatest battle has been fought. I think that's another topic that we have to next month. So, the garden is halfway because of what was described in the Bible. And God planted the garden eastward in Eden. And He drove out the man whom He had made and placed at the east of the garden flaming cherubs, flaming swords. So, that's another east. Then Cain fled from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod, east from Eden. East from Eden, eastward in Eden. So, you can imagine what happened after the fall. After the fall, the place where the garden, where Adam can till and eat, this is somewhat a parallel application, somewhat deeper in application. Isn't it God said, lest He stretch forth His hand and take from the tree and may live forever? Okay. If you remember the two trees tabulation, at the back of the tract, you can read there is a literal application that reads. There is a poisonous tree after the fall. After the fall, the trees become poisonous. Not all trees become poisonous. You have to choose. You need knowledge, which is good, which is evil. Now, let's talk about literal trees. The literal trees in the garden of the original Eden could not sustain life. When God drove Adam from the garden, He didn't just drive the person physically. He didn't just place a physical, literal angel. If Adam's going to go back to where he came from, he's not going to find an angel. He's not going to find some fence around, oh, this is a private land. You can't enter anymore, you're kicked out. He's going to find a garden that no longer sustains life. Isn't it? There was a curse on the land. It said, thorns and thistles shall be brought forth by the sweat of thy brow. 7 times. And the time of Lamech, it was 7 times 7, that the land will not yield for you. Didn't you know that this became the fertile crescent, the part of Iraq where they called it the fertile crescent because the breadbasket, the fertile ground has been pushed eastward. That's the same time when Israel was put to captivity. Life, when Ezekiel saw a vision of the Ark of the Covenant flying through the window, flying through the eastern gate, going to Babylon because they will go to captivity. And where was God? God was with them in Babylon.
Amen.
God was no longer with them in Israel. You want to stay in Israel, you'll be a squatter, a desolate place. The same thing what happened to the garden. The garden became desolate. It was full of thistles, full of thorns. You could not plant, you could not thrive. You can easily subsist at the eastern gate, at the eastern side. Why did they flee eastward? Because the land became desolate because of the curse, and they had to move eastward. After the angel, God through the angel cast them out. The angel didn't stand there to be seen by men. You go there, you cannot see anything. But men stood up. Why did they come back? Why did they come back? They didn't come back because there's nothing to come back for. It's desolate. It's desolate. So the garden became thorns and thistles. It became like a jungle. It became like a swamp. It became what before Israel came back to the promised land and made it fruitful again. It was just like that, as though others made a squatter out of it. Now, halfway through there is what you are asking for. The garden is. But in the original, before the fall, the garden was there. But we're talking about greeneries. We're talking about fertile land. It was the whole of the Middle East. You read that in Genesis chapter 2. And the land was full of gold, full of lights and like that. Now, you read in Ezekiel 47, that land's gonna be restored. When the rivers of living water will come from Jerusalem and water the whole Middle East again. So, you have an idea, a general idea, up to what extent the garden is. I'm not saying the whole garden is the whole Middle East or the whole boundary of that. I'm saying they become fertile. Those dry and miry places became alive with fish, with trees. That's the same description that we in Ezekiel, Zechariah, in Revelation. I got Zechariah. Revelation. The description you said, there were the tree of life by the river. The same description that was Ezekiel. They were describing the trees by the side of the river. Literal trees springing up to life again. So, the whole desert, dry places, originally before the fall, were teeming with life. And after the fall became a desert. But there is a portion patch of land where it became the fertile person. Where Cain fled from, where he built the city. For his son Enoch. And let me tell you something. You remember the Tower of Babel? Where did it arise? From the plain of Shinar, Iraq. Why did they build the tower there? Because that's where Cain built the first city. They were looking back to their ancestry, a serpentine ancestry of hedonism.
Hedonism.
Like what we have got in our cities today, our schools today. So, let me finish this. So, you have a general idea right now that they became a desert, but the small places that has left some patches of greeneries. Where was Abraham called from? Abraham was called from? Ur. And that was in Iraq, in Chaldea. And from Ur, Iraq, he was called back into the promised land.
Amen.
From the west, go to the east, in falling away, humanity. And from the east, calling back to the west, in restoration. And of course, we're not talking about the temple. Why the temple has its doors, its gates facing east. And when, Ezekiel chapter 8, when those worshippers of God turned their backs towards the altar and faced the east to worship the sun, it became an abomination. It represented something, but we don't have the time. Just borrow the tape about Israel. We're talking about what is the size of the garden. The size of the garden is not the whole Middle East. But, remember, somewhere in the middle, there is a big-sized garden, bigger than the Gethsemane. Okay, next question.
Francis, how is it true that this place, the place only,
Tagalogin mo na, kaya
how is it true that it is
Yung lugar na yan, tinawag na Royal Ground, Brother Francis, sa loob ng millennial land, yung Royal Ground na yan, yun ang exact location na pinangako sinabi sa Ezekiel, na sabi doon, hitik ang mga punong kahoy, mga bunga ng punong kahoy doon. Doon pa sa ibang lugar ay ganun din ba? Kasi parang wala akong nabasa na yun.
remember, he was just Ezekiel 48 came from Ezekiel 47. It was just describing the land after millennium. Ezekiel 47 will be in a time just after the tribulation. The Son of Man his feet will stand in the Mount of Olives, and it will cleave in half, and rivers of living water will flow from Jerusalem, from the temple, to water the dry desert places. Now, he was describing the Middle East. Now, he's supposed to describe only the Middle East, like it was in the Garden of Eden, like it was restoration. The first day, like the seventh day, going back to the first
What
day.
about in the other place?
Yes, I'm going to answer that. So the description was only for that because of prophecy. Now let's talk about other places. The other places, you know this answer is similar to the answer I gave. The garden was somewhere in the middle there, but it doesn't mean other places it is a dry desert. Same thing. What was described in Ezekiel 48 as full of fertile land teeming with life, the same thing could be said for the rest of the world, Africa, and Europe, and Asia. They will all be teeming with life. You read the description in Psalms,
Brother Francis,
in
even
Proverbs, the Isaiah, the reapers will the planters will overtake the reapers. That's how abundant the land will be. Not just in Israel, not just in the Middle East, the whole world. The whole world. That's a description in the millennium.
even in Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia was described in Ezekiel 47 to 48. Saudi Arabia is included. Let me ask you something. A while ago, hearing the scripture about Abraham's seed, is the seed of Abraham only Israel? The seed of Abraham includes the
Arab nation.
That's what the Muslims has been trying to be proud of. We are the sons of Ishmael. Being the sons of Ishmael, we are the seed of Abraham. Is that true? That Abraham was given a vision of seed in the sky, the stars there, and the seed as the sands of the sea. They're both his seeds. And God recognized the seed through Hagar. And Sarah wanted Ishmael to die in the desert, but God gave a miracle. The Bible didn't deny that truth. God gave a miracle so that the child will survive. Not just as a thorn to Israel today, but it's also the seed of Abraham. They are blood brothers. They're blood brothers. So, there in the Middle East, near the black stone, the Kaaba, there's what they call the Zamzam water that came out of the ground. It's like the Isaac Jacob's well. So, this Zamzam water is like Gihon spring that gave life. If Ishmael was there as a baby, as a child, young child, and that was a very far distance from Israel, and Sarah intended for them to die in that direction, but God said that because It was the disobedience of Sarah. That's why there is Ishmael. That's why there's Hagar that looked down on her. Question?
Bakit si Abraham nandun sa Ur? Ibig sabihin yung lahi...
Abraham was a type of going to the east and
Hindi,
going
yung
back to
lahi
the west.
nila, ibig sabihin wala dun sa Kanaan. Tapos,
This is something deeper. Good, thanks for the question.
ibabalik sila
Let's
dun
talk
sa...
about the seed from Adam. His seed went eastward.
So
Of
pati,
course, Cain's seed is much more farther east.
pati si Cain
Now,
nandun, di ba?
Let's talk about the descendants. Noah. Yes, the seed of Adam. Adam came from the east. He came from the west. He was brought to the east. In falling away, he went for the east. His stepson went for the east because of sin. And after the flood, from who settled in Salem? I'm not saying Jerusalem. I'm saying Salem. And who is this Melchizedek? There is a son of Noah that was in, and the seed of this person spread out in the Middle East. And Abraham was called from Ur, going back to the west, even though he took a long route from the north. So it's like west going to the east, east going back to the west. Israel captivity in Gaza. Abraham was not in Canaan. Abraham was brought to Canaan. God gave a vision. God talked to Abraham. I will show you a land flowing with milk and honey.
How about
It was a great leap of faith because that land was not yet developed. The generation of Noah started somewhere in Turkey. It went down, and some settled in Iraq, some settled in the part of Israel, and that's one person I'm referring to. The one that is the one who will bless Abraham. Yes, Ham. Maybe he's in Africa.
Yes, si Abraham,
Canaan.
naanuhan siya ng mga kapagkamalan si Abraham ay Iraqi na lahi ni Ham.
There's no problem. It's a mixture in those places. Japheth went to the north, Gog and Magog. And Shem went to the Middle East, Shemites. And the Hamites went to Africa. The Hamites are black. So that's how you subdivide. Look at the old map. Lut, Put. These are in Africa. These are the children of Ham. How about the word Canaan? Oh, the most controversial person. He might really have settled in the land of Canaan. Okay, so it's so ironic why that person is even the one who settled in the land of Canaan, wherein Abraham will go back to. That goes to show the struggle. You know what happened to the family of Noah between the wife of Noah, the mother of Ham, and their relationship, their incest. It goes to show God's centeredness, God's focus on typology. That's why Canaan, the land of Canaan, was Palestine. It's still the promised land. It's because it's like this. Even if it is a child of curse, a child of disgrace, still there is grace from God. Why did God choose Canaan to be settled in that place? Because in that place there is a fall, and there is a restoration. So where's the Garden of Eden? You can trace it from this eastward. And what is the drama, the story? It's a very beautiful picture if you can combine all these things. Okay, let's give God a big hand. Let's all stand.